last 24 hours. Powered by Yiddish 24, provided to you by The Click.
Good morning, and I get in Chodesh. Today is Wednesday, Parshas Terimu, and it's Rosh Chodesh Uda Bais, Aleph Uda, Tovshin Pai Vuv. My name is Gershy Schwarcz, and I'm your host on Edge. It is February 18 today? Yeah, February 18, 2026. Limas Puram. Thank you all for my sponsors, Lucky Baby and Klieger, Wine & Co., YS Capital Group, and Protobite and Arrive Express. We will talk about them more soon. But what's very important is yesterday there was talks in Geneva, and it ended without a deal. You can imagine what we're talking about. Iran, obviously, they want to go round two. They want to keep on going, talking while they can restock and redo and remake everything they want to remake in order to destruct the entire Western civilization. Russia and Ukraine talks happen afterwards. We thought they will go home without a deal, and we were right. Talks ended without a deal, my friends. Peace talks between Russia and Ukraine ended in Geneva, today, I would say, with no major breakthroughs, obviously. American officials Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner led the meetings to try and end the 4-year blittige bloody war. The Ukrainian side said the talks were difficult and that Russia is not ready to stop fighting yet. Now, Russian officials said the meetings were tense, but that they will keep on talking. President Trump is pushing both sides to make a deal. But the fighting on the ground has not stopped at all, I would say. Ukraine says Russia launched hundreds of drones and missiles at their cities just last night. Tens of thousands of people in the city of Odessa are now without heat, electric or water because of the attacks. Both sides are expected to meet again, but no date has been set. Ukraine has reportedly captured over 200 kilometers of land previously held by Russian forces in counter-offensive operations. This is the fastest gain since 2023. Ukraine is taking advantage of Russia's weakened communications. Now, Russia threatens Navy escort for tankers. A top Russian official says Moscow will now send its Navy to protect its merchant ships from the Western sieges because of the sanctions. European countries have been stopping Russian oil tankers that they say are breaking sanctions. Well, rightfully so. Nikolai Patrushev for the Russians says this is piracy and that Russia will not tolerate it. Patrushev warns that if the West keeps taking ships, Russia will fight back and could even block Western ships in return. Russia says it has the right to trade freely and will use force to protect that right if needed. Speaking of protecting your right, my friend, well, you have a right to buy any carriage you want. That I can tell you. You have a right to buy any carriage you want. But you know what not? Well, what is not true is that you didn't know when you bought the big carriage, branded carriage, you didn't know that it will cause chaos and havoc every single time you need to fold that carriage. It takes a long time to fold a stroller. You have to be an architect for that. Get yourself the Noah Periculous carriage from Lucky Baby, the trusted brand, trusted company that sells carriages of all brands, 35 years already, from Belgium. The first time ever, a Belgium-made carriage called the Noah Periculous carriage. Find out about it more. You fold it with one hand, the bassinet and all. The seat goes flat. It has all the major features, harnesses, magnet. It adjusts. You can adjust it like all in one place, no attachments, no nothing. And also the canopy goes all the way down, both the seat and the bassinet. And like I said again, I'm going to mention it again. You can fold it all in one. Call them on 845-951-1600. Okay, you can see how I unfold it with one press. It's so impressive. Go to www.luckybaby.com. You saw that? The bassinet. You can fold it, open it. It's unbelievable. www.luckybaby.be or email them at shop@luckybaby.be. The Noah Periculous carriage. Ask about it. You can get it within 3 to 4 days if you order it now. The United States is sending in massive amounts of firepower to the Middle East right now as we speak. In just the last 24 hours, the Air Force deployed 50 more fighter jets to the region. Now, this includes advanced F-35s and F-22s and F-16s. On top of that, 6 huge radar planes flew from America to bases in Europe to support the mission. Israel is also gearing up. Their new F-35 modification is ready to use. They modified it like crazy, they say. Senator Marco Rubio commented on the tension. He said, "The president always prefers peaceful outcomes, but we are dealing with hardline Shiite clerics who make the decisions based on theology and not politics. The situation on the water is getting very tight, my friends." Yesterday, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard terrorists blocked the Strait of Hormuz. During a military drill they said for a few hours, hundreds of merchant ships were stuck, waiting to pass through the narrow channel. Tomorrow, the Russian Navy is going to join the Iranians for joint war drills on the Gulf of Oman. and the Indian Ocean. But while the regime shows off its power at sea, things are exploding inside their own country. Residents of the city Shiraz reported a large explosion in the mountains nearby. Local sources say this is the 13th unexplained blast in Iran just since the start of the month. The tension is so high that people are literally betting money on whether a war will start. On the betting site, the famous one, Polymarket, users have wagered millions of dollars on a potential conflict between the US and Iran. Right now, the odds of an airstrike on Iran before June are sitting about 61%. While the military gets ready, diplomats are still trying to talk. Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, like Ben Shapiro calls him, I call him Araghchi, I'm not sure it's Araghchi, because it's with a G, spoke with UN nuclear chief yesterday to discuss recent talks in Geneva from yesterday. But he said Iran wants a clear framework before they agree to anything. They are ready to talk, while they do all their dirty work in the background, I would say. Yeah. Now, the Islamic terrorists in Iran are now using fake AI videos to threaten the American Navy. But intelligence officials are warning that the danger is actually very real. The Iranian regime released an AI-generated video this week that shows a massive American aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, being blown up and sinking to the bottom of the sea. While the video is just a cartoon made, an AI made by computers, a CIA, like you take the AI, you turn around, you put the I before the A and the C before the I. CIA official reportedly warned that Iran's new hypersonic missiles are not a joke. The official says these missiles move so fast that they could potentially punch through American defenses. If just one of those hypersonic missiles hits its target, it could sink a carrier and kill the thousands of sailors on board. The US Navy has not confirmed any specific new threat, but the video shows that the regime in Tehran is dreaming of a direct war with America. See, Tehran's AI budget is higher than their food budget. What you can see on this AI video is basically the oil tanker, the carrier, sinking to the bottom of the sea, and Trump is shocked getting the news from his officials. And after you see a crow doing "krah, krah" on the top of a sunk American aircraft carrier. Trump's Board of Peace meets tomorrow. President Trump is moving forward with his big plan for Gaza. Tomorrow, Thursday, he will host the first meeting of his Board of Peace in Washington, D.C. The main goal is to raise money and make a plan to rebuild Gaza after the war against Hamas is over. The U.S. is expected to announce a $5 billion fund for reconstruction. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accepted a seat on the board, of course. However, Mexico's president, Frau Sheinbaum, I call her, declined to join, saying she will only watch as an observer. The Vatican has also said they will refuse to join. The board will also discuss a new international stabilization force, led by Tony Blair, those who remember him, the previous once Prime Minister of England. Trump posted on Truth Social that member nations have already committed thousands of personnel to this force to handle security. We also have new details on what they actually want to build. Jared Kushner, Trump's Jewish son-in-law, presented a vision of the Strip that includes luxury beach resorts and high-rise towers. He wants to replace the rubble with modern tourism spots. Palestinian groups are furious, calling this plan imperialists, and it's out of touch. Don't forget, they did put out posters in honor of before their Ramadan starts, telling all the Palestinians and all the jihadists that the religion stands for one thing, for sacrifice and for winning the battlefield. British Prime Minister... Prime Minister Keir Starmer from England spoke to Trump yesterday to discuss all of this. He pushed President Donald John Trump to keep pressure on Iran and asked for more aid to get into Gaza, of course. Not enough he has problems and trouble at home, but he is very busy with Gaza and other countries outside. They also discussed the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, of course, but no deal is done yet. The diplomats are talking in Geneva, but the fighter jets are doing the real talking in the Gulf. Steist. Let's talk about being klieger for a second. Have you thought of your business? How much you put in how much time you invest in communication on WhatsApp, messages, emails. That's one thing. That's just one, that's like a fraction of what the problem is really, of you to become klieger. Okay, for you to become Kliger, you also have to look at the sales force. You have to look at the invoicing, the way you talk to customers, the bringing up balance, the bringing up information you know about your customers. All that all in one. When you think AI has reached his, the level of thing, you will be surprised what Kliger has in store for you. You'll be surprised at very affordable prices. 845-335-3343, or go on to Kliger, that's KLEEGER.com. And you could find out more. Mention on Edge for a great deal when it comes to signing up with them. Speaking of someone who lacks a little bit of Kliger, Congresswoman AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, went to Germany this week. She criticized President Donald J. Trump on the world stage, but things didn't go well for her. She spoke at the Munich Security Conference and told the crowd that Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are trying to create an age of authoritarianism. She also repeated the lie that the war in Gaza is a genocide, but when she was asked basic questions, she had trouble answering. A reporter asked her if America would defend Taiwan from China. She stammered for a while, obviously, and couldn't even give a clear yes or a no. She also made a claim that Venezuela is below the equator, which is factually incorrect. Vice President J.D. Vance responded to her unkliger performance, He called it the most uncomfortable 20 seconds of television he has ever seen, and he couldn't forgive himself for that. He added, if I had given that answer, I would say, you know what, maybe I ought to go read a book about China and Taiwan before I go out on world stage again. Republicans are saying this trip showed she is not ready for higher office. Even some Democrats are reportedly worried that her mistakes distracted from her message against Trump. And that is the main goal. To destroy Trump. The IDF announced that Staff Sergeant Ofri Yaffe, which is very sad news, was never hit by friendly fire yesterday. He was only 21 years old, and he lived in the Hayogev, a moshav which is in northern Israel. A Yiddish neshama. The incident happened around 2 a.m. in the Khan Yunis area this morning. Two groups of paratroopers were working to clear buildings used by terrorists in the darkness. One force mistakenly identified the other group as terrorists. In such severe situations, it's called a guerrilla war, what they're doing. What they're doing is a guerrilla war. And Nebuch, they opened fire on one another. Ofri was critically hit and passed away before a helicopter could get him to safety into hospital. Baruch Dayan Hu Emes, may his neshama have an aliyah. Oy, hurts me to say such news. Anyway, an armed team stormed the US Capitol last night. Capitol Police arrested an 18-year-old man who ran toward the building carrying a loaded shotgun. The man, Carter, why am I laughing? Because why did he try it even? Carter Camacho from Georgia parked his SUV near the Capitol and ran towards the entrance. He was wearing a tactical vest and carrying extra ammunition. He was ready for war. Officers intercepted him before he could even get inside and ordered him to drop his weapon. He complied and was arrested on the spot. Police later found gas masks and other stuff and a helmet inside his vehicle. Rabbi Say, you thought when you voted in a mayor in New York City, Zohran Mamdani, that what he runs on he's not going to threaten to do. Now, he's obviously not doing it. He doesn't have the power to do anything. He just threatens. So he threatens a huge tax hike. New York City's mayor, Zohran Mamdani, is threatening a massive tax hike increase if the state doesn't help him out. New York State. He's threatening, verstehst? He proposed 9.5%, 9.5% property tax, a hike, to close a multi-billion-dollar budget gap. Mamdani says this is the last resort, and he really wants Albany to tax the rich instead. He is pushing Governor Kathy Hochul to raise income taxes on wealthy New Yorkers and corporations. But if she refuses, he says he will have no choice but to raise property tax on homeowners in New York City. Critics say this would be a disaster for families already struggling with high costs. The city council speaker has already said she opposes the property tax hike. Yeah. And he wants to help New Yorkers. Wine & Co., who does want to help. If you want to send a tissue box covered in aluminum foil or wrapping paper with a melted chocolate and some plastic bottle that melted in the sun that you call wine, then you stay whining because your friends and co's didn't get exactly what they wanted. You should go to Wine & Co. 845-306-1204 or www.wandcogifts. That's wandcogifts.com or wineandco2@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp them. Description below. You can get yourself custom-made fancy stuff like wines and gifts and stuff engraved with your name and business IDs and numbers and tax identification numbers and also social securities engraved on your wines and send it to your friends. I'm kidding. The point is that you can get Wine & Co. Send them nice gifts to your friends. Make yourself look presentable with Wine & Co. this Purim. Okay. You can mention on Edge for a good deal. Texas Senate battle heats up. The fight for a Senate seat in Texas is turning into a massive political showdown. Early voting kicked off yesterday for the Republican primary, and it is a brutal three-way race. Longtime Senator John Cornyn is fighting to keep his job, but he has two major challengers breathing down his neck. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and Congressman Wesley Hunt are both hunting and running hard to take his spot. This is a classic battle between the old guard and the new MAGA movement. President Trump is staying out of it for now. He told reporters on Air Force One that he likes all three of the candidates and is just waiting to see what happens. But behind the scenes, Republican leaders are furious and sweating because they are terrified that this messy, expensive fight will drain their money and open the door for a sneaky Democrat. Polls show the race is extremely tight, and it looks like it will head to a runoff election in May. Weather alert. I don't always give weather alerts on my show, but this is important. More snow is on the way, Rabbi Sai. When you thought the sun is coming out and you're ready to take off your sneakers and your boots and put your sunglasses on, get your shovels ready and boots, because winter isn't done with you yet. Nope. Forecasters say, here in New York City at least, in New York State, that another snowstorm is heading for New York. The city could see another 6 inches of snow starting later this week. The National Weather Service says a new storm system is moving up the coast and could bring heavy snow and wind. Speaking of snowstorms, a rescue mission is happening right now, still in the mountains of California. 9 skiers are missing after a massive avalanche hit near Lake Tahoe. 6 skiers survived the slide and were rescued right away after they were stranded on the mountain, unable to move. Rescuers have to battle a severe winter storm right now with heavy snow and high winds. The danger of more avalanches are still very high, making the search extremely difficult. Officials say the missing group includes both guides and clients on a backcountry trip. It is a race against the clock as the storm gets worse by the hour. In Washington State, not the DC. A dramatic rescue saved 2 injured hikers from a freezing mountain. A 51-year-old woman and a 16-year-old boy fell down an icy avalanche chute on Mount Eleanor. The woman suffered internal injuries, and the teen hurt his knee trying to help her. Rescue crews faced darkness and near-freezing temperatures to reach them. A Coast Guard helicopter eventually lifted them to safety in the middle of the night. Both were flown to a hospital and are now lying in bed recovering. Officials say the winter route they were on is extremely dangerous right now due to ice. Meanwhile, a horrific crash in Colorado has left 4 people dead and dozens injured. What a terrible incident. 36 vehicles, including 7 semi-trucks, piled up on Interstate 25 on I-25 near the city of Pueblo. The police say a sudden dust storm caused something called a brownout condition, blinding drivers instantly. Visibility dropped to 0, leading the massive chain reaction crash. 29 people were rushed to hospitals, with some in critical condition. The highway was shut down for hours as crews tried to clear the wreckage. This is a tragic reminder of how quickly road conditions can turn deadly. Rachmana litzlan. But you know what? It is a quick reminder for us. It's a quick reminder for us, Yidden, to be always thankful for the little things. You go out, you drive in your car, you make it safely home or wherever you need to make it safely, flying, whatever you do in the world, wherever you go, every footstep you take. Thank Hashem. Thank you Hashem. Thank you Hashem. Keep me safe. Also, when you want to borrow money for a good investment, now, Uder, is the right time to do this, as it says clearly in Halacha. Therefore, you should call YS Capital. I am sorry, I made a mistake. That's, by the way, Srili, the business coach. But yes, YS Capital Group, you can call and he'll say yes. 718-831-2168 to borrow some money for your investment. You want to design custom software for your business? Call Protobyte on 347-354-1237. You can WhatsApp them on 0203-535-6600. For those calling WhatsApping overseas, it's +442. Take out the O, 203-535-6600. That's WhatsApp. Or go on to www.proto-byte.com. Get yourself a custom-made software, something you'll thank me later for. They're fast, they're good at the service, and you know who else is fast and express? Arrive Express. The taxi service in Rockland County, upstate New York. KJ. Okay, the number is in Rockland, 845-622-1111, and of course, 845-254-1111. Thank you all for my sponsors, thank you all for my listeners, and thank you every single one of you. Have a wonderful Chodesh, and we'll see you again, Be'ezer Hashem Yisborach. And remember that I do this show in Yiddish. The English one is fairly new, so you should know that the Yiddish one is the one actually to find on Yiddish24.com, and you can always access it from anywhere in the world, and it's great site, great place. If you have any feedback, any critics or comments and stuff, I'm I'm always ready to hear it, and I've received many compliments from all of you about this, and I really like them, and I want to hear more of that. It helps me build this program and continue what I'm doing every single day. So call me on 845-671-1775, press 5. If your friends and family haven't yet heard about my show, please pass it on to them. It will be a major help for me. It will support my channel. It will support my even the English one. The English one I'm doing is literally because people have asked me, and I know it hasn't yet grown to the amount that the Yiddish has, Baruch Hashem Kanai Hara, grown to over close to 61,000 people a day. And counting. So Baruch Hashem, thank you so much, Hashem, for this opportunity to be able to do this on a daily basis. And you can always reach me, 845-671-1775, press 5. You can email me on onedgenews.com. onedgenews.com. You can contact me there, find out more details, more information, what I've released recently, and some exciting episodes are coming. Look with Purim as well, in Yiddish mainly, but yeah, we will do ones in English as well. But I need more support. I need your support. Please help me spread the news. Spread on Edge. Okay, thank you, Rabbi Isai.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish 24, provided to you by The Click.